Thanks for having me, and great to see everyone this evening. Just to echo what Matt said, at the end of the day, I'm just a regular dude. I don't have a background in what a lot of people would consider a traditional tech background. Confession, I don't know how to code. I grew up in Saskatchewan. Shout out to Saskatchewan. Is anyone from Saskatchewan here? No? Only me? Okay, that's okay. Uh, Went to the University of Saskatchewan, then went to law school and became a lawyer for a brief period of time. Very unfortunate time in my life. Sorry to the Oslo crowd. Um, and at the end of the day, a lot of the skills that you learn in whatever path that you take, whatever educational background you have, what you do in your life, you can always find a way to apply it in what you do next. One of the most proud moments of my life is when one of our engineers came up to me one day and said, "Abrar, I know you don't know how to code, but if you wanted to, you would know how to code." At the end of the day, the law, breaking down the law logic, it's the same thing as coding, just applied in a slightly different way. That's a little bit about me, a little bit about our company, Arteria AI. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. These are some of the founding members of our team. We come from very diverse backgrounds. The two that you see on the left, our CEO, Shelby Austin, and myself, ex-lawyers. You have Jonathan Wong, a serial entrepreneur and technologist. And then you have Dr. Amir Hajian, who's our head of AI, who mapped the universe at Princeton and did some pretty spectacular stuff before devoting his life to documentation. And that's ultimately the problem that we solve for at Arteria. As Alex mentioned, we work with some of the largest financial institutions in the world. It says banking documentation infrastructure up there, but really it's any financial services in documentation. What we do is we use AI and automation to really bring structure to the unstructured data within those operational processes, and also apply workflow. And what this helps accomplish is a significant time and operational savings in some of the most complicated and expensive processes within a financial institution. I realize this might be a little bit esoteric or deep for some in the audience. And Matt, if you thought that it was hard to explain to your parents what you do, it's even harder for me to explain to my parents what I do. But the bottom line is we are helping people like us that engage with banks and financial institutions on a daily basis do it in a more frictionless and effective way, and help those banks and financial institutions also optimize their processes. So today, we're pretty proud to be serving some of the largest and most complex financial institutions in the world. Probably most of our customers are outside of Canada, whether they be in the US, the UK, or continental Europe. But that being said, one of the things that we're proud of is that we just crossed the 100 FTE mark, I think a couple weeks ago. And 90% of those FTEs, 90% of our staff is here in Canada. And we are proud to be here in Canada, headquartered in Toronto. It's not the traditional place for a tech company that's serving the biggest financial institutions in the world, that's working with JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs and Citibank. But it's our belief that there's so much talent here, and Canada has so much to offer to the world in tech that we have a place to really cultivate that at Arteria and really bolster Toronto's status as a tech hub. And so we're continuing to grow. We're continuing to invest in Canadian technical talent and continue to grow our team here. So I would love to answer any questions anyone has.
Again, it's Alex here. I'll jump in with the first question.
Sure.
You took a bit different path than most companies we see. You spun out of Deloitte.
Yeah.
What was the advantages and disadvantages of coming out of a professional service firm?
Yeah, it's there's obviously a lot that you learn from being at a professional services firm, and a lot of access that, quite frankly, a lot of tech companies have trouble getting access to, and a lot of resources that you have access to. That being said, at a professional services firm or any firm that that a tech company spins out of, it's often a very different business model. And that's one of the biggest challenges that we faced, was moving from an organization that prioritized and operated based on services and turning that into a tech company and a SaaS company that operated like a SaaS company. I'm sure many of you are familiar with sort of the consulting mindset around product, and that's something that we had to work hard and be deliberate in getting over and getting past if we were going to be successful as what I would call a proper tech company.
What are some of the biggest mistakes you made, and how did you overcome them?
Ooh, that's a good question. Some of the biggest mistakes that we've made. I think at first when we first spun out and we were still in the teens in terms of headcount, as we were looking to hire and build our presence, we really looked at what we thought were impressive or standout tech companies, and brought in talent in various different degrees, not just technical talent, but product talent, sales talent from those organizations. And one of the things that we learned very quickly is that not every tech company has the same journey. And in particular, where you are in the maturity cycle and the type of product you have really matters. And so this sounds very basic and perhaps obvious to some, but B2C is a very different place than B2B. Enterprise is very different from SMB or small and medium businesses. And the maturity of your product as well. Is it well developed, defined? Is there a lot to it? Is it complex? That matters a lot to having talent on all areas land and onboard properly and be successful within an organization. And I think that's been a source of one of the big challenges that we had.
Okay, I'm getting the note that we have to go on to the next speaker. So, but Abrar, I would like to get more questions. I'm sure the audience has more questions. So they'll follow up. Either post your questions on LinkedIn, or maybe you'll be here for the secret after party where they can get you beer and ask a question. Can I get a round of applause?